This week, a bipartisan group of senators announced the framework for new gun safety legislation, including funding for red flag laws, school security, and mental health programs, and more.
Yeah, President Biden called this move steps in the right direction, but admitting it does not go far enough, or certainly not as far as he'd like it to go. And many other Democrats will bring in one of the lawmakers behind this agreement, Delaware Senator Chris Coons. Always good to have you here on the program. And look, I know you all are still working on writing this thing. There's a framework, but you have to get the legislation actually written. So tell me, have you already come to a few bumps in the road? And if not, do you see some potential contentious moments still getting us from the framework to the actual legislation?
Well, the politics around guns and gun safety are always contentious, both nationally and here in Congress. So I do think there will be some bumps on our path to the Senate floor. But I've spoken to the two lead Republicans, Senator Cornyn and Senator Tillis, just in the last 24 hours. They're still determined and engaged. And I'm grateful to Senators Murphy and Blumenthal of Connecticut, Democrats from my caucus, for their engaged leadership on this as well. Lots of the key provisions that you just put up on the screen that are in the framework that 20 senators signed up to over the weekend are already in text. So, yes, there's a few fine points, a few definitions and details to work out, but I remain hopeful that we can get this to the Senate floor within the next 10 days.
And, Senator, if this framework that you all have been working so tirelessly on does, in fact, become law, give us a sense of what you personally believe this law will do to curb gun violence. And the big question, because there is a lot still left to do, what else could you do, basically piggybacking off of this law?
Well, first, I think we want to show to the American people that democracy can work. That despite the deep divisions between our political parties and senators of different regions and backgrounds, that we can actually legislate on the areas of mental health and gun safety. I worked with Senator Cornyn of Texas and got to President Biden's desk the last bipartisan bill we did on gun safety. It says that if you go into a gun store and you're a convicted felon and you lie on the background form and you're caught, you're denied the ability to buy a gun, that information should be shared with law enforcement. Tiny little bill, could save lives, but that was the biggest thing that had happened so far in this Congress because it's so hard to make progress. In this framework, I'm excited that we will provide hundreds of millions of dollars of grant incentives to states to either adopt so-called red flag laws or to more fully and better implement them. The state of New York had a red flag law on the books that should have been able to stop the shooter in Buffalo at the grocery store. But some states need more focus and more resources. Texas does not have a red flag law, and it might well have stopped the shooter in Uvalde. It was adopted first in Florida after the Parkland shooting, and it empowers local law enforcement with due process protections to temporarily remove guns from someone who's a threat to themselves or others. There's also an expanded waiting period for 18 to 21-year-olds to purchase assault weapons or long rifles. It closes the boyfriend loophole. In this country, if you're convicted of domestic violence, you are barred from buying a gun, but only if the victim of your domestic violence is someone you're married to, have children with, or live with. If it's a boyfriend, an intimate dating partner, but you don't live together, have children together, that record doesn't go into the NICS system to prevent you from getting guns. And the number of those fact patterns tragically have risen significantly. Senator Klobuchar has worked hard on that in recent years. This is a group effort across many senators. The thing I'm in some ways most excited about, frankly, is the work of Senators Stabenow and Blunt to create a nationwide emergency critical mental health model. That will likely get billions of dollars of investment. It's something that's badly needed. So that's just a quick overview. There's a lot of provisions I'm excited about. This could be the biggest step forward in a long time in gun safety and mental health prevention.
And look, a lot of people want to applaud. Look, this might be a small step, might not go as far as some people want, but still it is a step and an important one. But you reeled off a few things there, and I want to go back to Uvalde. We don't know for sure. Of course, there's no way to go back and say this legislation would have stopped this framework that we have. But it doesn't ban AR-15s. It doesn't raise the age. It does not, at least the shooter, did not have a mental health background. He did not have a criminal background. What in the framework that you have seen could have done anything about the Uvalde shooter?
Well, that's right, TJ. Look, if we look at any one shooting and any one fact pattern, it's very hard to legislate specifically to that. I am hopeful that the expanded waiting period that this framework includes for someone 18 to 21 to purchase a long gun, which includes assault rifles, might well have prevented the shooter in Uvalde from purchasing AR-15s. We are investing more in school safety and in school mental health counselors. And if Texas were to adopt a red flag law and fully implement it, that might well also have provided some measure of protection or deterrence. It's hard to, as you put it, tease out all those factors. But frankly, I am confident that each of these provisions will prevent some instances of gun violence. We continue to lose Americans every single day. One of the hardest meetings I've ever had as a senator was meeting with a group of young moms whose children in elementary school in Delaware were going through active shooter drills. And they demanded to know of me, what am I doing? We have to have better answers than we've had about our willingness to work together and compromise. This bill is in some small part an answer to that question. What are we getting done?
Well, there is some comfort there, at least, to see members of Congress and senators working together on an issue that we should all be able to come together on, protecting our children, protecting the people we love the most. Delaware Senator Chris Coons, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.